Yeah. So. All right. I'd like to call the Clinton County Drainage Board October 7th, 25 meeting to order, and I'd like to start out with the approved minutes, 9/16/25.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Motion to approve the minutes as written, and I will second that. Motion carries 2-0. Then moving on, West 28 Business Park Drainage Review, the Manford Sheets Watershed.
Yes, we've got a proposal for a business park. You can see on the location map there where it is. It's just to the west of NHK. And I don't know the acreage off the top of my head. I don't know if Zach remembers that
Looks
or
like
not.
it's probably between 40 and 50, I think.
But anyway, we've been working with them over the last several months, and they have submitted a preliminary plan. Going forward here, you've got 4 outlots that will border along State Road 28. Then you've got a larger parcel to the back that may be developed in several different ways. We just don't know yet. I don't know, do we have someone here to speak on that today? If you would care to come up to the microphone and enlighten us, that would be fantastic.
Good morning. My name's Adam Dehart. I'm project manager with Keeler Webb Associates. Our offices are located at 486 Gradle Drive, Carmel, Indiana, 46032. As Mr. Sheets said, we've been working with county planning
You've done that.
on this project. It was rezoned last year. The parcel that we're looking to develop is 36 acres. Down in the bottom right-hand corner, if you go back to the 3.2 there. Down in the bottom of the right-hand corner of the site is a triangular piece that is still owned by the county commissioners. We've been in discussions with you ever since we were working on the zoning about creating that detention pond there. And then it is oversized, and it is does have the capability for sites to the south, if they can get their storm sewer to it, to use that for stormwater detention. The west detention pond's a little bit oversized also. And then we have a real small watershed up in the northeast corner where we're proposing to do a dry detention that only covers that area that's northeast of the pipeline that bisects our property, which is why that strange triangular shape was left for the county commissioners, is where the pipeline goes through. Can't cross the pipeline with storm sewer, so we got to split the watersheds there and work around that. There were a few final comments that BFS and Dan had comments on that we are more than willing to accept as conditions of approval and make revisions and resubmit to their office. They were all minor grading issues. I had a layer issue on one drawing and some other clarifications that they were asking for, but the intent of the design and the intent of submitting the construction documents is to be in complete compliance with the stormwater ordinance. With that, I'd be available for any questions you gentlemen might have.
Okay, thank you.
Mark Shimolewski of BFNS has reviewed this. We do have a list of comments which he has addressed, and we're willing to accept those. And with the condition that they will not start any construction, no permit will be issued until those have been addressed. So I am recommending we go ahead and grant conditional drainage approval.
Okay. Any questions or discussion, no, sir?
No, I haven't. I've none. I'll make a motion that we grant conditional drainage approval.
And I will second that. Motion carries 2-0 at this point.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming up today.
All right, moving on then. I-65 Culvert Lining Project with NDOT, Manford Sheets Watershed again.
Yep, busy watershed this morning. NDOT has notified us that they would like to line this culvert. It's an existing corrugated metal pipe. It serves to drain the Manford Sheets area on the, I guess it'd be the east side of I-65. And we're discussing whether this is the culvert right here. It's a rather large diameter culvert, and they presented us with 5 options, maybe 6. The ones they would like to do would be line that pipe. We are currently rejecting those ideas because they're going to shrink the size of the pipe. While lining does work in some cases, no matter what you do, it's always going to reduce the size of the amount of water that can go through that pipe, even when they're using smooth core pipe or whatever it is that they're doing. One of our big issues here is that NDOT has calculated the drainage area at 1.68 square miles. Our calculations of the watershed are considerably different. We're at 3.42 square miles. They did not take into account pretty much anything on the south side of State Road 28, which all that has to drain through here. Although we will mitigate this through a construction and through the use of detention ponds, we still have to accommodate that water coming through. There's still going to be emergency overflows. There's still going to be surface runoff. So we are currently in discussions with them about what we want to do. We have a solution that we discussed in an online meeting 2 weeks ago, which would be we would allow them to install a custom-built steel culvert. It would be welded up out of plate steel, 1/2 inch thick, 3/8 thick, something like that. That would be inserted in the existing culvert, and then they would jack and bore another 24-inch pipe next to that allow for the overflow. Our concern is that anytime you line a pipe, you raise the invert elevation of the ditch. We've got a lot of drainage pipes, agricultural pipes coming into that ditch, which will be affected if they do that. We're having a little trouble convincing them of that. But we do think if they used a steel version of the pipe, it would be a lot better because it gets it down. If you put a plastic one in there, we're like 6 inches elevation change. You put that corrugated or the steel casing in there, we're down to about 3/4 of an inch. So we like that much better. But they're still reducing the overall capacity of that pipe under the interstate. So that's why the counterbore would be necessary to allow that other pipe to as that tailwater backs up, it would allow that pipe to pick up that water and get it out of there a little bit faster.
Is 24-inch large enough?
24 would do it on the models that we're seeing. 30 would be better. But we're willing to work with them a little bit. They do have 2 other options, which is completely cutting the pipe out by closing the interstate and rerouting traffic, doing that whole deal for 6 months. I understand why they don't want to do that, plus the cost of doing that is going to be, well over $1 million to do any of that work. The jack and bore is probably $500,000, something like that, lining it. So that's kind of what they're looking at their budget. But this is just an update. We're not approving anything today. We're waiting on their final analysis, but I wanted to give you guys a heads up as what's coming down the road. They're getting rather impatient with us, which is fine with me. I don't really care. We're going to get where we need to get, and they're going to satisfy our drainage needs is the main thing, because we do feel that they did not take into the consideration of what has happened when they built that interstate. They cut off a lot of drainage, which I don't think they quite understand what happened when they built the interstate. Yeah. And that's left that wet spot that's on that southeast corner there, the interchange of 28 and 65. So we have some difficulty there. Currently, our Stinson drain is at capacity. Nothing else can be built in that quadrant until something happens, and particularly us building a new drain or the city building a new drain or something like that. But we need to make sure that whatever happens, that culvert over the interstate is sizable enough to handle any of the water that we're going to put through it. So that's all I've got for you, unless you've got questions on this project. It's just an update to let you know what we're working on.
No, I don't have any other than go for as large as you can get to run beside it.
That's our intention.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure that we do not get a reduction, because that has happened before. They're doing one out by the airport now that we did approve. I think it's been to the board, but that's got a very small watershed. It's only 100+ acres coming off the airport, so we can stand a little bit of reduction there. They had built in a little bit extra capacity. But that's all I've got for you on this one.
Okay. Well, I agree with Kevin that, you're calling the shots. So.
Yeah, they've explained to them that it'll be up to the drainage board. They were also notified of this meeting today, but I don't believe we got anybody here from the state present. So they understand where we're at, and I told them we would not be voting on it. It was just an update. So.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Looks like October 21st.
As you know, we've tentatively set 20th as a moving date. I think the 21st is our date. And we would prefer not to have a drainage board meeting.
Okay, makes sense. You might be a little busy.
Yep.
But 10:15, you guys should be done by that time.
Oh, we will be. I'll be in my chair drinking coffee, but I just don't want to have a meeting right after I've done all that work.
I think that probably we should postpone the 21st meeting and move on to the next month unless you've got something vitally important that you need.
If something were to come up, we would request a
Just know.
special meeting.
Let us know.
Okay. I agree.
Otherwise, any other business come before the board.
I think we need a meeting or a motion to cancel that 21st meeting.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I'll second it, 2-0.
Thank you.
Outside of that, anybody got any other business to come before this board? Being none, we'll consider this done and gone.
Very good. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming today.
Adam?
Hi, Jeff.
Jeff?